So Spider-Man Miles Morales didn't sell well, and now journalists are trying to cope. Like, look at this silly title. Spider-Man Miles Morales didn't sell nearly as well as Spider-Man, and that's okay. I love the "and that's okay." It's like they're trying to cope with this. It's almost like they're a general in a culture war, and they're like, oh crap, we lost Spider-Man Morales. We lost the battle there, but you know what? That's okay. I'll tell you why they're so emotionally invested into this. It's because when a game does good, then they get to say, see, it's because you listened to us. It's because you implemented the talking points that we told you to implement. So you need to listen to us in the future if you want to make money. But when a game implements their talking points and doesn't do what they want, well, it's a little bit bad because now they're losing a little bit of that power. It's all about power to them, the power to influence corporations. And I love the title that they say Miles Morales didn't sell nearly as well. Nearly as well? It sold 70% less. I wouldn't say nearly as well. I would say barely at all. Jesus. Oh my god. I'll tell you why the game didn't sell. Because the first game was shit. It was shit. It's really good when you start playing it. Man, I wish I would have streamed it. Alright? It's really good when you start playing it. It's amazing. I just thought, oh my god, like this is going to be like the next Arkham. Because it was really amazing. Like the first 2 to 3 hours of me playing it, I was hooked. I'm not kidding, I was entertained. But as you keep playing it, it gets repetitive and stale. Especially after you unlock one of the skill trees, and it doesn't take much time to do so. The game just becomes boring because you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. The main character is an autist. It's not the Spider-Man that I grew up with. The Spider-Man that I grew up with was written by some based Jewish people that actually experienced hardship. They knew how it was to live in a household where you are a teenage boy and then you have to man up and take control and provide for the family. And the writers of this have no clue how that is. They're absolutely clueless. So they created this autistic character that ends up being homeless, becoming a burden on himself and his family, and still does nothing to fix it. He keeps neglecting his job and his responsibilities in order to pursue his obsession, which is crime fighting. And, this is what I would like to call pathological empathy at this point. Like, he is self-destructive as a character. And, maybe this is the new Spider-Man. Maybe this is the place that they are trying to go with. But I couldn't connect with this character at all. I had more luck connecting with Bruce Wayne from Arkham City than I have connecting with this. And if I can't connect, I don't get immersion. If I don't get immersion, what's the point in playing video games and just watch a movie? It was just like horrible. I did not enjoy it. But, with that said, why would I want to play more of it? Because I watched the trailer for the new Miles Morales big shiznit, and what do I see? More of the same. I wouldn't let kids play this. Like, kids deserve better. If I see little Billy trying to play Spider-Man Miles Morales, I would take it out of his hands. Like, no, Billy, stop it. What are you doing? You're punishing yourself. Play a real game. Play Ghost of Tsushima. Here you go, Billy. Play this. You'll thank me later. When you grow up, you'll thank me. Honestly, I am so sick and tired of these corporations pulling this crap. The reason that it's more of the same is because they get to reuse the assets. They get to reuse the map. They get to reuse the model. They save money. And then they give you the middle finger by reselling you the game at full price. And they also have an army of journalists telling you that you're a racist if you don't buy it, because now the superhero is black. Even though he's covered up and you don't get to see it. Yeah, seriously. I am so sick and tired of this argument. It's like, make a superhero game where you get to play as Storm, and then I'll buy it. Storm is a woman of color. She gets to shoot lightning. She gets to complain about India getting polluted. She can even complain about racism if you want. I don't care. That would be a cool game. I get to play a woman with big tits flying around zapping people. Get to feel like God, like Thor, like boom, 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 sinner, boom, boom, boom. That's some cool shit. I want to play that. Instead, you're giving me this. You're insulting me. That's what you're doing. You're coming into my household, giving me this. You're insulting me. Holy crap. Yeah, it's kind of interesting if you read the article. It's like what PlayStation 5 lacked at launch in terms of truly exclusive content, it made up for with excellent cross-generation release. According to whom is it excellent? People didn't buy it. It's like that story, if a tree falls in a forest and no one gets to hear it, did it really fall down? Did it really make a sound? If a game is excellent and no one buys it, is it really an excellent game? One of those titles, Spider-Man Miles Morales, was not only arguably the best launch day title, but one of the year's best games. No, I'm sorry, you're a sexist. You're a misogynist. If you don't understand that The Last of Us 2 was the best game ever, not only just for this year, but for all the previous years and the years to come, you're a misogynist. Like, look, The Last of Us 2 is the best game humanity has ever made and will ever make. In fact, there is no more point in holding gaming awards because The Last of Us just won everything. If you do not say that in 2021, The Last of Us 2 won, then you're a misogynist. So no, I really disagree with this take. It's a bad take. It offered the compelling storyline and nuanced gameplay that iterated upon Spider-Man 2018's excellent foundation. What the fuck was excellent about it, man? Like, I couldn't get immersed for 2 minutes because Spider-Man would start spewing buzzwords about fascism. I'm not kidding. Like, when you play the first Spider-Man, he goes like, oh, fascist this, fascist that, fascist goons, fascist. I know he's dressed in red, but can you tone down the communism a little bit? Just a little bit. I mean, he is fighting against a private paramilitary organization that are way abusing their powers. The fact, even if they would be fascists, that would be like on the bottom of the line. If they would be voting with Benito Mussolini, that would be like the last thing that I care about. Like, the main thing would be like, okay, they're abusing American citizens on American soil. That is a problem. Like that would be the main issue. Like, oh, and they're putting civilians in camps, and it's like, why are they doing it? Like, the motivation of that organization made no sense. Like, it's almost like they were evil just to be evil. It's like, look at us, we're so evil. Why? I don't know, but we like it. At the same time, it was both a technical powerhouse on PlayStation 5 and an amicably performing open-world experience on PS4. Through any lens on any platform, Spider-Man Miles Morales was an excellent experience. No one played it. No one cares. No one will play it. And why is it that all of the games that no one plays are excellent? Why is that? The games that everyone plays, like Ghost of Tsushima, are shit. Did you not notice that? Do video game journalists even have the ability to play games? I need to wonder. Unfortunately, the game sold relatively softly. Not that it should... Relatively softly. Look at this shit. A bit over 600,000 copies. Man, a AAA game. Hyped up. Like, the amount of money they pumped into marketing. The fact that this is Spider-Man. And it's one of the games that PlayStation 5 was bragging about. 600,000 copies. This is laughable. Like, this is nothing. This is like going to a big titty lady and getting ready to have sex, and you show her that you have a 2-inch penis, and you say, well, it's a bit small. No, you're understating the situation. It's not a bit. It's just like minuscule. It's Microsoft. You need new words in order to describe it. 600,000 copies. Holy crap. I had videos getting more views than that. A number that doesn't stack up to the figure of 2018 Spider-Man. Miles Morales was saddled with a number of caveats that the prior title wasn't. While the context around Miles Morales doesn't make the title's weaker sales notable, it does illustrate why the fall off may have occurred. For starter, Miles Morales got caught up in a wave of PS5 chatter that dominated conversation. Man, this should have boosted it. It boosted it. It shouldn't, like, take it away from it. Because right now, if you are one of the morons who happen to buy a PS5, you will quickly find out why you are a moron. There aren't any games on it. There's not. I think there's like 3 or 4 titles. One of them is Spider-Man. So if you really want to put your console to the test, you want to see, all right, I want to check out the graphics of this big boy. I want to see how it looks on my 4K television. You would play Spider-Man. People went out of their way not to purchase this crap. Like they wash their hands on it. Like, I don't want it. It's icky. They would rather go outside without a mask to buy their PS5 during COVID rather than to play this. The game truly thrives on PS5. While it was available on PS4, the incentive to purchase it there was lessened. Dude, I am willing to guarantee to you that if the next God of War came tomorrow, and it would be PS4 and PS5, people wouldn't give a shit. Like, they would buy it on everything they have. Like, they would just purchase a PS4 just to play the new God of War if they didn't have one. So don't give me this crap. Like, honestly, the coping is astonishing. It's literally everything but the actual reasons. That the first game was boring as fuck. On top of that, November was an incredibly busy month for new game releases across every platform. Dude, it's Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man. Like, this should be the title that takes away from the other games. There should be less people buying the other games and more people buying Spider-Man if it was done right. I'm telling you, if Batman Arkham would release a new sequel tomorrow, it would take from any other title that came out. Why? Because it's a good franchise. It established itself as a good franchise. The people who made that game knew what the fuck they were doing. After all, for a great game it was hit with a lower price tag and mixed messaging that trapped it somewhere between DLC and standalone side story, both in the eyes of the marketing campaign and the player base. The game is demonstrably shorter than Spider-Man, and it reuses a lot of the game's foundation. Oh, no shit. No shit. Oh, this like, finally we get to the reason. You need to wait until the bottom of the article to go through all of the cope, and then you see, like, the reason. However, that distracts from everything that Miles Morales does so well. Behind the foggy marketing campaign, what do you mean foggy marketing campaign? Like, they were hyping this up like it's the next one. Didn't they even sell like a PlayStation that looks like Spider-Man in order to promote this game? I think like the only reason that console might have sold is because all the PS5s have sold and people have no choice but to buy it. It's like, if you want a PS5 that badly and you're going to like, well, you know, only the Spider-Mans are available, or be like, oh god, like, you know, fine. I wouldn't be surprised if people paint over it to hide the shame and the stigma that you have a console that looks like Spider-Man. As such, there isn't much reason to be concerned about the franchise health in light of these weak numbers. In the context the games released, they're understatable, albeit unfortunate, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, if I was in charge of the studio, I would fire every single one of these people that committed the atrocity of bringing Spider-Man Miles Morales upon humanity. You're destroying the franchise with this shit. No one wants to play it, okay? Stop listening to the journalists. Make something original. Stop making Spider-Man just spew these buzzwords. Make him have some common sense. And why are all the women in the game ugly as fuck? Like someone took a beating stick and just beat the living shit out of them. You're competing with Japan. It's called Sony, right? There are Japanese games that actually have female characters that look adorable in it. I'm not saying give them big tits and make them with plump asses, but at least make them pleasant to behold. Holy shit, Mary Jane in this video game is like, oh my god. If I woke up next to that woman, I would scream. It's like, what are you doing in my bedroom? Get out. Home invader. I'm calling the cops. No, seriously, just Google Mary Jane and you'll see how the developers did to her. I don't know what they did, but it's something horrible. I wouldn't wish it on any person. And again, like, it's the same thing. The actress modeling Mary Jane is actually cute. Like the female model for this game that portrayed Mary Jane looks gorgeous. But for some reason, the game developer, the artists, they're like, nah, we can't have that in the game. I'm not saying it's something, you know, but there might have been like some horny teenagers that would spend their buck if you had some pretty ladies in it. You know, it's just like common sense marketing, but like video gaming industry have lost their common sense a long time ago. Let me know what you think. I'll see you guys in the comment section.